Hello everyone, I'm so happy that you joined me for this segment for this Saturday. I'm really happy with the way this week went. I hope that it went really well for you. Before I get into this video, I want to go ahead and thank everyone for the amazing response from the very last video that came out for Wednesday's Wellness, where we talked about being as strong as a tree. A lot of people, I believe, that hit home with them. So I'm really happy about being able to encourage all of you, and just be prepared because there's going to be a lot more of those type of videos to come. I'm starting to see where those are really a benefit to those around me. So anyway, I just want to go ahead and get into what I'm thankful for this particular week. And last week I went ahead and focused on the person that stands right beside me in this journey in life, my wife, the beautiful Lamette. But the next person that I want to go ahead and spotlight is actually my son, Grayson. He's 2 years old. He is full of energy, and he delivers on being a child, being around a dad as crazy as me. And so when I really sit and think about, I say, the privilege of having a child, it couldn't have come at a better time, and I'm glad that Grayson is here when he is here. In my past, I have been married before, and in my first marriage, we did try to have a child at that time, several times actually, and unfortunately it always resulted in miscarriages and stillbirths. And so after numerous years of being disappointed, to be quite honest, I had just learned to kind of go through life without ever expecting that to happen. I kind of hung that dream up on the shelf of life to say, you know what, maybe that's just not my path. I'll just try to do my best and be the best role model just to kids in general. Thus being one of the reasons why I would work even at a camp where we service, over 1,000 kids every year. But when Giselle and I ended up meeting and ended up getting married, then we started looking at the possibilities of family. And for me, I had already kind of learned to have that mental guard up that, you know what, something is probably not going to go right, because that just seems to be the norm for me. She and I did try. We did have some struggles. And there was a lot of heartbreak that we experienced with it in the beginning. But one day, we ended up having the opportunity for her to be pregnant, and the pregnancy held. And I was nervous the entire process through the pregnancies. Every ultrasound was like watching the conclusion to my favorite movie to see if it was going to be a good ending or a bad ending. And now we have a 2-year-old who loves us. We're his best friends, and he's our best friend. Even when he gets under our skin and we want to just tell him, would you please stop and calm down? But I would never trade any of these experiences with him, with his high energy, for anything in this world. And so I'm so grateful to have him as being my son. And that is what I am grateful for on this day. Secondly, I'd like to say within this, because I feel like it goes a bit hand in hand with being thankful for my son, I'm thankful for my dad. My dad was a very active father in our lives growing up. Now, just like many, sometimes the father's not always in the home. For a portion of my childhood, that was definitely the case that I had. Things with he and my mother didn't mesh and go well for a while there, but he still did his best to be a very active father. When he was in the home, definitely he would take us to do many different things. I mean, he would take us to go and play basketball. We all sucked, not making shots really, except maybe my older brother, because he was pretty good at it. But outside of that, we weren't really good. but we were out there having fun. My dad with his 3 sons, he would take us out to play baseball, and he'd be out there popping flies. Sometimes we got popped in the head, and we'd be crying and everything, and he'd be like, "Oh, you'll be okay, come on, let's keep playing." It was funny, just the things that he would sit there and do. I remember sometimes he would sit there and he would collect a bunch of change. And then what he would do is my brothers and I, we would all be inside of our living room. And then he would throw all the money there, and then we would go ahead and grab as much of it as we could. And then sometimes he'd throw $1 out there, to go ahead and really make the game big, because back in the 80s, $1 was a lot if you were going to the store. So he would do those types of things, and it was amazing for us. And that, now that I've reflected as being a dad, it's made me really appreciate those things. Even when he wasn't in the home, he was still wanting to go and do things with us. He was going to the movies, taking us to the movies all the time, which is the reason why my brothers and I were all big, huge movie fans. I think it drives Giselle a little bit crazy because she's like another movie, but that's the way I grew up, so deal with it. But anyway, it's one of those things of he would take that time to really make sure things were special. I even remember one of those times, because he knew I was into artwork, he thought taking us to Forest Lawn so I could see the artwork at the cemetery was a good idea, not knowing I was terrified because he used to have us watching all these horror movies, and I could have swore to God there was going to be a zombie hand to come up and just snatch me and drag me under the ground. So, but, whether it was big things or little things that were given to us by my dad, he still brought it regardless of the situation. He didn't leave any excuses for him trying to be an active father. He never shunned us off as like, well, you know what, I'm not in the house, so screw you guys. He took the time to always show that he loved and cared for us. So, within this, I am thankful for Grayson, and then I'm also thankful for my dad. I'm actually super excited just because of the fact of my dad just had a birthday this past January 22nd, and it's great to see that he is still here, first of all. He and my mother are still together now, and it just kind of all comes full circle. So dads out there, love your kids. Dads out there, be active with your kids, no matter what the situation is between you and their mother. Make sure that you're setting a good example, because one day your kids will look up and they will be so impressed and appreciative of who you have shown them you are in their lives. So, thank you guys so much for joining me for this video for today. Please go to that YouTube, Gabriel, Visiontoon, Lamette, and subscribe. Also today, as promised in our last video, I'm going to be doing a spotlight on somebody else. I have someone else that I've spotlit. You've got to see this video. It's on a very talented artist named Hannah Bottenberg, and she's from a town called Forest Falls. I love the people in that town, but check it out because she's got something really awesome to show you guys, and she's a really talented gal. So thank you guys. I will see you on Monday, where we'll be looking to get motivated, and we're going to make this next week a successful one. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.